Hey guys, welcome back to Arlie at Home. I'm Arlie, and today I'm going to share a really delicious recipe with you guys. We're going to be making mac and cheese home style. All right, guys, so I've got a pot of boiling water here. It's at a rolling boil, and I've added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to it and about a handful, a little less than a handful of salt. And by a handful, I mean like the palm of your hand of salt, like very little. So I'm going to add a pound of pasta to this. This is an organic pasta that I get at Costco that I really love, and it's got great texture to it. You don't have to use this. You can absolutely use elbows or any kind of pasta that you have on hand. This one calls for a cook time of 9 minutes. So we're going to let it boil for 9 minutes, and then we'll make our sauce. Okay guys, so while our noodles are boiling away, I'm going to take the time and not waste any time, and I'm going to shred our cheese. I am using a Boar's Head brand Vermont cheddar and Boar's Head brand Fontina. I love these. The Boar's Head brand never fails. It always works out well. So all I'm going to do is just open the packages up, and I'm going to shred them up using a box grater. For the Fontina, I'm going to remove the wax on the outside of it, which is that red color rind kind of deal, but on this Fontina, that's a wax. This isn't like Parmesan where you can save the rind and use it to flavor things. No, you want to remove that. And most times, see, it just peels right off. No issues. Then I'm going to cut it in half just so that it's a little bit more manageable to shred. Open the package of cheddar, and we're going to do the same thing. All right, so this is my box grater. I'm going to be using the thicker grating side. This is more thin for like a dusting or a powdery thing, like a Parmesan or a Grana Padano, something like that. And this is to make slices. On this side, I don't want that. I want to use the larger holes so that I get good shreds of cheese like that. That's what you're looking for. So I'm going to shred both of these up all the way down. Okay, so all of our cheese is shredded. I'm ready to go. Let's move over to the pot. Okay, I drained the pasta, and in the exact same pot, I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use butter if you want to, canola oil, whatever you prefer. Some purists will tell you it has to be butter. But sometimes I just use a really light olive oil. And I'm going to turn that on to medium-high heat. And then to it, I'm going to sprinkle in about 2 tablespoons of flour. And you're going to whisk the flour into the oil. I might add another tiny bit of flour. Yeah, it's a little loose. Let's add another, about half a tablespoon there. So you're going to cook the flour in the oil for just a few moments. You just want it to lose that raw flour taste. And as you cook it a little bit, stirring it constantly like I'm doing here, you develop a nutty flavor where you can tell that this was once a wheat. Okay, once this is cooked for a minute, I am going to add roughly 2 cups and a half of milk. We're going to continue to stir until that comes up to a simmer. Now while that comes up to a simmer, what it's doing is that roux, that flour and oil that we cooked together is thickening that milk up. So we're going to take advantage and we're going to season it up, because cheese alone, although very delicious, that's not the only star. We're going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to crack in some freshly ground black pepper. You can add as much or as little of that as you want. I like to go a little heavy with my black pepper. And then to this, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. And whisk those in. And let that milk heat up. Okay guys, so you see this is starting to simmer and bubble up, and it looks fairly thick. So I'm knocking down the heat to a medium-low, still stirring, and now I'm gonna add all of our cheeses in. Stirring it all in a little bit at a time. It immediately starts to melt, and that fontina adds a really just creamy, stringy texture to it. And the cheddar obviously imparts that strong, sharp flavor, but it also gives that beautiful orange color that we're all just so used to. Look at that. It's a beautiful sauce. Okay, let me add the rest of the cheese. No good cheese goes to waste. And then to this, I'm gonna add just a couple dashes of Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm gonna add just the tiniest little squirt of mustard. All right, it is good and ready to go. Let's add our pasta. Stir that in, coat it completely in the cheese. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow, this is amazing. It's so creamy and beautiful. That's fantastic. Okay, so for the topping, I have a tablespoon of butter that I melted. And to that, I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup, maybe a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. I do this by feel. Mostly, it's just a little topping, but if it's really about a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs and a tablespoon of melted butter, and you're just going to mix it all together so that the breadcrumbs kind of look wet. And then what we're going to do is sprinkle it on top. Now these breadcrumbs I'm using are panko breadcrumbs. They're not regular breadcrumbs, and they're the seasoned panko breadcrumbs. So that's it. We're going to pop this into the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes, just so this top part gets a little crispy crunchy, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, guys, we're taking this mac and cheese out of the oven. It's been in here for about 20 minutes, let's say. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Look at it. It's getting crispy, crunchy. It's bubbly all over the place. I can't wait to try this. Oh my God, look at this. Look at how pretty that is. Bubbly bits of the sauce everywhere. Nice and crispy, crunchy. I can't wait to try it. Okay, I'm going to steal a little piece of macaroni from the corner. Just a little bite. It's super hot. I just pulled it out. Oh my God, you guys have to make this. I love it when I surprise myself. Shh, they won't know I'm taking another bite. And they'll never see it. It's like it was never there. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. You guys, that was so good. You have to make this. You just have to. I'm telling you. I'm making you do it. Thank you for hanging out with me, for making this mac and cheese with me. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did because this is so good and my son's going to love this. Thank you again for all the love and the support. I appreciate it all the time. This is amazing. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little bell. You guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy this mac and cheese as much as we do.